Just like in our previous video with addition and subtraction, division and multiplication also have a very useful relationship with each other. Division and multiplication are inverses of each other. I'm going to show a quick example with some numbers. Let's do 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. If I then take that number and I multiply it by 2, I end up with 6. So we can see that we've gone back to our original number right here. And same with if we switch the order around and I do 6 times 2 first, and that gives me 12, and then I divide that by 2, that gets me back to 6. So if we ever want to undo multiplication or division, we are going to use the other one to create the inverse of it. Let's take a look at a couple of equations and solve those equations using multiplication and division. Now there's one thing that we need to recognize right here. This 3x really means we're doing 3 times x. We don't use that multiplication symbol anymore because it looks too much like the variable. You could write it as 3 times x this way. If you ever see a number right next to a variable, it means multiplication. Now if we're multiplying something by 3 and we want to undo that, we're going to choose division to undo that multiplication there, and we're going to divide it by the same thing we just multiplied it by. In order to keep our equations balanced, whatever we do to one side, we need to make sure we do it to the other side, and we get x equals 4. We're multiplying by 4 in this one, so let's divide by 4. And again, we get x equals 4. It works with negative numbers. If we're multiplying by a -2, we can divide by a -2. That would give us x equals -7. It works with decimals. If I multiply by 2.5, we can divide by 2.5. And that would give us x equals 8. So any number, if you ever are multiplying and want to undo that, you can undo that using division. Let's take a look at these. You notice that we are taking a variable and we're dividing. We need to undo that division so we can get the variable by itself. We're going to use multiplication, and we are going to multiply by the exact thing that we divided by. So we're going to multiply by 3, multiply this side by 3, and we get x equals 36. We're dividing by 4, so we're going to multiply by 4, do it to the other side, and we get x equals 64. It works with negatives. If we're dividing by a -2, we're going to multiply by -2, multiply by -2 on the other side, and we get x equals -28. It works if we have decimals. We're going to multiply this by 2.5 because we're dividing by 2.5, and we get x equals 50. Multiplication and division always undo each other. They are inverses of each other. So if you ever want to undo division, you multiply. If you ever want to undo multiplication, you choose to divide. Thank you.